guys, I am trying to figure out if this looks good. All right, so I'm actually making dinner, and I kind of came up with 5 dinner ideas, and Chuck has been like hankering for curry. So it's my version of curry, which is very simple. And tonight it's just gonna be like, I'm trying to figure out where to put the camera, which is new because I'm in a different kitchen. So I'm wondering if keeping it lower is better actually for this. Last time I was doing juicing and it was had to be higher, but I think, come on, follow me. Still working with this new little, hey, there's my counterpart. And I think he's gonna go take Jax for a walk and come home to a yummy dinner.
How come it keeps following you and not following me?
It's so funny. Look at.
See, that's what happens when you hire that guy instead of your real camera holder.
Ah, so are you gonna sit in the window? Actually, I guess we could. We could put you through the window.
Stand outside the window. I'm taking the dog for a walk.
Right.
Be back for dinner.
When you get back, you're gonna have a delicious meal.
Oh, so spoiled.
I know.
Love you.
But it's how I can love you.
Follow the recipe.
He does
Follow what
everything
she
for me
says.
all the time.
She makes it look so easy, and it is absolutely delicious and nutritious. Look at that.
That's my muscle over there. Thank goodness, because I don't have a whole lot right now. So, cast of characters: sweet onion, zucchini. Probably won't use the whole thing. This is for 2 people, but I usually make more than for 2 people. Maybe lunch tomorrow. 3 mushrooms, 2 carrots. You can use as much as you want. Probably will just only use half of a pound of ground chicken. So, and then I have coconut milk. I think this thing is doing its own thing. I think I'm gonna use garbanzo beans. Probably a few of them. And then we have some seasonings, which we'll talk about later, but it'd be garlic powder, curry powder, cayenne, black pepper, and salt. I keep things very simple, and I got some breadcrumbs out of the pantry. And I will be getting a few things out of the freezer. I'm doing cauli rice, a little bit of real rice, green beans, and peas, if I remember. So what I do, I'm gonna start, I have this really cool pan. My mom and dad got me all new pans for Christmas, which is really fun. Like, since we got married, I still had all my old pans. So when we moved in December, that was my Christmas present. It was just like a whole new set of pans. So they're not scratched, and hopefully we'll keep it that way. That's always the hard part, right? So putting it on like medium heat. I don't know why I went over there. This thing is supposed to like follow me over here. This is so funny. All right. Anyway, I'm not sure why. There's nobody over there, I don't think. So I'm gonna quick peel the carrots. And the reason I'm wearing gloves is because I know I'm gonna be touching raw meat, and that's probably one of the last things I'm gonna do. So I just don't love washing my hands 1,000 times. And because I'm on chemo, I do have like, I don't know if it's exactly hand and foot syndrome, but it's definitely a lot more, I don't know, just not as healthy. So I'm trying to just keep my skin from getting too much soap and water on them. So this is how I cut my onions. I just chop off the top and bottom. I'm a very simple ingredient person when it comes to meals. I like whole foods. I don't like to use a ton of packaged food or sauces. I just like to do them myself. So I usually just cut my onion in half, and I'm going to use, I still have some extra virgin olive oil. Sometimes I use avocado oil. I'm just trying to finish one bottle before I go back to the next. And that was from when my mom was visiting in October, and she likes to use that, so I'm using it up. So I'm just doing a quick dice. This is how fast it is. Chop, chop, chop. Cut each onion in 4s, and then in 3s. And then you just have a really easy dice. Not too complicated. Same with carrots. So I'm probably going to cook them together. really quick. And one of my really big things is just to have a couple really simple kitchen tools that work really well. One of them is a good sharp knife. I don't do little knives for anything like this. It's so irritating to me to have teeny tiny knife. And so if you have a good sharp knife, this is a Cutco knife. The really cool part, when Chuck and I got married, he came with Cutco knife set, and I had one. No, I guess I had a bread knife and I had a Cutco knife and a spreader. So it just made me laugh that when we got married, we had two of all of those things. So I ended up keeping all of his, and I love it. And we keep them sharp. We have a little sharpener. They actually stay pretty sharp. So that's my big thing. I love knives and I love rubber spatulas. That's like the two things I can't live without in the kitchen. And if I go stay somewhere that has a kitchen that I know I'm gonna have to cook, they come with me. Always bring them with me. So I'm not even sure I'm gonna use all of this onion. I'm still learning. Hello, I'm over here. I'm still learning how to cook for two. I have 4 sons of my own. I was married for 21 years to my ex-husband. So I had 5 men I cooked for a very long time. So I'm still learning how to cook for 2 people. And I tend to like to cook for 4 just so we have leftovers, but I think I'm gonna end up using just half of that onion. I'm not afraid of onion though. I do enjoy onion. So I'm kind of cranking the heat up a little bit because it's an electric skillet, so it takes a little while. Let me think. I'm gonna put the onions in another dish. Let's see if it follows me. Yes! So here's my little, let's see. I'm just gonna take a dish out and stick my onions in it. So, and I like my onions to kind of cook down and get soft, and so I'm just going to kind of let them go for a little bit and not stir them. I know that's always like the tricky part, is you just want to keep stirring stuff, but they don't really caramelize if you keep touching them. So we're just going to leave them alone. And I like to use organic mushrooms. I don't really clean them very much unless they're visibly dirty. Like these are pretty clean. So sometimes I'll wipe them off if they have like chunks of dirt on them. But other than that, I leave them alone. I'm going to give this a quick wash. Yay, it's following me. So I do try to use all organic ingredients when I can. Sometimes our stores don't have them. But if I can, I do. And I'm also going to use like half of this zucchini. So I'm also going to add frozen green beans and peas, just to add some more veggies to our meal, because I like veggies and I need to eat veggies. I'm finding like with my swallowing stuff that I'm having going on, I tend to eat more carbs because it's something I can eat, but I know I need to eat my vegetables. So when it comes to dinner, I really do focus on that. So this is the hard part about it. You can kind of see everything's getting a little brown. So I'm letting it go. When it's all like sweat and caramelized and get a good sear on it and get soft. But I will be adding coconut milk, so even if they don't get too soft right now. So I'm going to add 3 mushrooms, half a zucchini. And this is the beautiful part about cooking. You know, if you have a bigger family, over here. Oh, this thing's just not liking me today. If you have a big family, then double it up. Like, it's just about ratios. There's no, like, magic thing. If you want to use a whole zucchini, use a whole zucchini. Right? I mean, the big deal is, like, having enough of a pan space. I'm going to see if I can just pick this up and show you. Over here. Right? So, I probably could fit a few more veggies in there, but this is good. So I just want the whole bottom of the pan to be covered. Let me see if I can stick it here. So meanwhile, while all of that's cooking, what I'm gonna do is lower the heat to medium again and add. So I like to use sea salt. I don't use iodized salt very often. I figured I'll get it in food when I eat out. But I like sea salt because it's just a lot more minerals in it. Garlic powder is like the trifecta for me. I love garlic powder, salt, and black pepper. If I don't have anything else, I'm fine. Black pepper. And chocolate black pepper. So we're using that. And I'm gonna leave the curry for later. I'm not gonna bother with that yet. I don't know why. This thing is cracking me up. I got it for Christmas from Chuck, and it's like kind of doing its own thing right now. It's supposed to follow you around the room. Okay, I'm gonna tip it down though. Okay, so I got this. We have Sprouts here locally, and it's organic ground chicken. So I'm gonna pop it open. And I just basically cut it in half, and then I'm gonna put the rest of it either in the freezer or make kind of maybe breakfast sausage patties out of it, because I'm trying to help my hubby lose, he wants to kind of get back to where he wants to be. So we're working on a little bit healthier options. I don't know, he does a really good job at breakfast and stuff, so he loves bacon and doing more keto, like eggs and stuff for breakfast. So here's a ground chicken. So I just dumped a bunch of garlic powder. So this is how I season things. I don't count. And you can always add more salt. You can't take it away. So, I just kind of do like a covering of everything. And I always like good amount of seasoning in. I basically make meatballs, right? So this is what we're thinking of. So this is curry powder. I am a little picky about my curry powder. I like really good flavored one. This is by McCormick. It's the organic one. I like it. I also have cayenne just to give it a little kick, a little spice. I'm going to stir everything again. And then I'm going to lower the heat and add a little more oil because it's a little brown. I am not afraid of fat. That's something I learned in my paleo days. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, everybody was afraid of fat. That's not really our culprit. It is really more carbs than sugar. So if I'm gonna steer clear of stuff, it tends to be those. And as I say that, I'm adding breadcrumbs. In the past, I'm just putting a little tiny bit, just because ground chicken's really soft. So this is a good binder. I've also used tapioca flour in the past, especially when I was gluten-free. If I was truly making meatballs, I would add an egg, but I'm not, because I want these to kind of stay together. So I'm just gonna toss them and form little meatballs. And I'm actually gonna add it into the pan once I pour in the coconut milk. And then I'm just gonna let them kind of simmer in there and cook that way. And I literally make this up, but I've been cooking for 20-something years, so I don't know. Just stuff I've kind of done, learned how to do, watching the Food Network. Really big, couple people that really taught me how to cook besides my mom, and besides actually doing it myself, were Rachel Ray. She's so simple, and I love her style. And Giada and the Pioneer Woman, she got me blogging actually years ago. So I made a lot of, which I think is still, I think my blog still exists. I'm not sure. I think it's the New Lunch Lady. And I still have good, on Pinterest I can find my recipes. But, alright, so this is looking really good. Let's see if I can show you. So now I'm gonna add the can of coconut milk. So now, over here, this thing is cracking me up. Let's see, come on, there we go. I don't know why it keeps going over there. It's funny because I have a diffuser going. We're big on essential oils. And so I think it's picking up the movement of the diffuser over there. It's pretty funny. So again, you use whatever ingredients you can find. I was at Sprouts today and got organic coconut milk. So now I can use the same spatula. Let's see if it follows me. There we go. And I'm just going to dump it in. Oh, it smells so good. So before I add the chicken and get more raw chicken on my hands, trying to avoid that. I'm going to use my left. See, it keeps going for the diffuser. That is so funny. Okay, so follow me to my freezer. I'm going to grab out frozen cauli rice. Green. Alright, this thing is showing you all my trash. Green beans, cauli rice, frozen rice, garlic. So this is probably one of my big cheats, is this garlic. It's one of the things, let's see if this thing will turn around. It is so funny. It's just misbehaving. So I'm going to pop a couple cubes in. I think it's going to taste really good if it's garlicky. Plus, you know, okay, this thing is cracking me up. You know, I'm married to the husband. My husband's going to eat this too, so it doesn't matter if we both smell like garlic. But I am a little worried about everybody. It's going to be sitting in front of me in church tomorrow. But I guess that's the good part about wearing a mask these days, right? People can't really smell your breath so much. So I popped 2 of these in. They're really fun. And because these are frozen, I'm going to throw a couple green beans in. These happen to be kind of big, so I usually just, and I'm lowering the heat all the way down right now because I don't want it to cook too much. So I'm just breaking a couple green beans, and if you have a bag with those smaller ones, throw them in. Green beans take a little bit to cook, so I'm throwing them in now. And that is the thing about frozen or any vegetables, right? You have to really like learn how long things cook. Green beans usually take like 10-15 minutes. If they're frozen, they're already blanched, so you have a little bit of a extra leg up, if you want to call it that. I usually try to keep green beans, peas, cauli rice. I actually have frozen cauliflower, so that like when we travel and stuff, we come home, I still have a few things I can kind of pull out of the freezer, and I always have some vegetables. So this looks good. I'm going to show you. Let's see if it lets me. See? So, you know, it's a good handful. And it doesn't matter. You just use however much you want to use. So I am going to put these back in the freezer because they will frost. Now I may wait on the cauli rice and the rice till the chicken is... Let's see if you follow me. Yeah? So... over here. This thing just has a mind of its own. It is making me laugh. Okay. Time for a sip of seltzer. So while that's cooking over here, I'm going to turn it up a little bit again and give it a little toss. It is starting to smell good in here. So now I have this mix, and then I'm just going to roll really tiny little meatballs. And one of the reasons I use chicken, I don't like turkey, raw turkey. I like turkey cutlets. But, so my hubby does not eat red meat at all. Some fun facts for you while he's not here, used to be a fitness model. And back in the day, he actually trained with like a couple Olympians. You know, he's always been an awesome gym rat. and very, very, very into fitness. Still is. He loves to exercise. He's got crazy energy, which I'm very jealous of. So he usually goes to the gym almost every day. But he had cancer, and it like changed his body, and because his testosterone got cut off, it also changed like your muscle memory and all that stuff. But so anyway, back in the day, he used to like run around with these guys that trained for the Olympics, and they stopped eating red meat. This is probably over 20 years ago. And so he stopped eating red meat, and he says it took like a year and a half or something. He grew up eating it, but now he doesn't have the enzymes for it, so he can't digest it. So I am getting really good at fish and white meat, which is fine once in a while. Like right now with my swallowing stuff, it's really hard for me to eat beef anyway. Once in a while I'll get like maybe a slider or something. Or like the other day, I think that was when we were in Sedona, I got a little cup of beef stew because it was all shredded beef. So I still try to keep enough like that I can digest it, but I know it doesn't really like matter that much. I love my husband more than I love beef. So I am so fine with figuring out ways to, enjoy all of the white meat in the world. So this is one of the ways. Like normally I'd probably use beef, but look how cute they are. So I'm just literally dropping them in right now, and they're floating on the coconut milk, but it works. So these again are seasoned with salt, pepper, garlic powder, curry powder, and a little cayenne for a kick. So, and they're almost done. And really you could do whatever size you want. If you want to do ginormous ones, you can. It would just take a little longer to cook, so that's why I'm doing little bitty ones. And these are nice and soft for me too, because since I have some swallowing stuff going on, still, because I had radiation last June on a node on my chest. Pretty much right away I started having swallowing problems, and then figured out that I had esophageal ulcerations and ended up with a feeding tube and for 2 months. And so like most of the swelling came back, but then radiation apparently just keeps on going in your body even when you're not on it. I only had 10 sessions, which were like 5 days in a row, and then 5 days in a row. So it's a little frustrating for me after the fact, because now I'm living with this swallowing stuff for supposedly the rest of my life. I would love to be completely healed, and that's up to God if he chooses to heal that part of me. But I have like a tightening in my esophagus, the very top right below your epiglottis, the swallowing flap, so sometimes stuff gets caught and I like can't eat seeds or nuts or raw carrots, but I can eat ground meatballs. Like even grilled chicken's rough. So I'm just adapting my diet and it works. I can eat. There you go. There we go again. All right, let's see if I can get this thing to behave. It's pretty funny. I can't force it to turn, so that's funny. Come on. Keep going. It's literally turned like 360 degrees since it started. So here we go. Let's see if I can get you to see this part. Look how pretty, right? So everybody's floating. So about half of them are getting cooked. And I think I'm just going to toss them in the sauce, literally. The other thing I'm going to add is some frozen peas, because I like peas. And it's funny because for like the last year, we had our sons living with us too, and one of our boys didn't like peas, so I just never made it. And I love peas. So it has been a little easier not to have to feed all kinds of pellets. Let's put our dirty dish away. So let's see if over here. Let's see if it'll follow me. There we go. So I'm gonna What was I grabbing? Somebody help me. I'm gonna put the chicken away so it doesn't get bad. Peas, peas. Okay. Peas are always in my freezer. So, grab my kitchen scissors. So I have like 3 pairs of kitchen scissors. And I didn't know, like, some people don't do that. But I actually stick mine in the dishwasher to disinfect them. Somebody was loading my dishwasher a couple weeks ago and they're like, why do you have a scissor in your dishwasher? I'm like, I don't know. I've always done that. I just clean my scissors. This thing is just be misbehaving. So, pair of scissors. So, little organic peas. They last forever in your freezer because I only just sprinkle a few. Alright. Oh my word. You get to see my dirty kitchen. I love that. It's just so good. It still wants to go over there. I think it just needs to do a whole 360. Maybe just want to see my whole kitchen. Here we go. It is so funny to me. Okay, so here's our food. See, it's just cooking away, nice and low. I'm probably gonna turn it up. And I'm gonna dump a whole bunch of curry in it because curry is life. And then one of my hubby's favorite things is garlic naan, so I got that at the store. I'm making a mess, which is alright. Let's see if it stays on us. So I'm actually just gonna cover this pan and let it cook a little bit. Chicken will not take very long when it's ground like that. So I have a lid. Go. And then I think what I'm gonna do is cook our cauli rice. I'm going to saute it. I'm still learning my oven. We've lived here for a month and a half. But I really wasn't cooking the first month we were here because I fractured my back. I guess I haven't really been cooking very much at all. So, we actually had lovely people bringing us meals for a bit. So that was such a blessing. And that's what I love, when people take care of us like that. Like, that just is very humbling. We had a meal train. It's still trying to find me. Do I have to move more? Does that help you? Yeah. So here's cauli rice. So I usually buy it at Trader Joe's for you Americans. If you can't buy it made already, you can just buy cauliflower and throw it in your food processor. But I like to be easy. Or you could just use cauliflower and chop it up. But it is really nice. And what I do is I do some rice cauliflower and I get frozen rice. This happens to be organic frozen jasmine rice from Trader Joe's. It comes in a box and you get 3 bags. So I just maybe use half or a quarter of this for the both of us. So I use more of this and a little bit of that just for texture. Rice is also not like my biggest friend because it's a grain. So, but I can do a little bit. Then I'm going to season it up really yummy. And dinner will be like ready when Chuck gets home. This is so fast, right? It doesn't take very long. So, you know, you could even be easier, literally, and use all frozen vegetables. Or, you know, sometimes you could buy pre-chopped veggies. So I'm kind of layering the bottom of the whole pan. And this has to be frozen. You can also buy it fresh. Sometimes I just buy the fresh and freeze it because nobody says you can't. I also do that with onions. I buy chopped fresh onions and freeze them. But lately I've been actually buying, I have them in the freezer at all times, but onions just don't go bad that fast. So, okay. So here's our cauli rice. I'm just gonna like spread it out and then crank up the heat so it gets a little brown. And while it's waiting, I'm just gonna salt it. Garlic powder. I still use garlic powder even if I use that other garlic. Pepper. Cayenne, because it's got a little spicy. And curry. We're going for flavor. So I actually have it on high. So I wanted to get like a little brown. And this is looking good, see? The other option with this is you could brown the meatballs and stick them in. I'm just being lazy. Letting them kind of cook in the juice, and that's okay. You like my chip clips? Yes. I love chip clips. Good old IKEA has the best clips. Alright, so it's looking really good. And it's going crazy again. Alright, I'm going to open the rice. And dinner is almost ready, you guys. So this is really great. This is a Trader Joe's hack of mine, is to buy the rice because there's less people anyway. It costs like, I want to say it's like $3.99 for 3 bags, but if you don't use a lot, it's really worth it, and then you don't have to stir and cook it for 20 minutes or something. And it cooks so nice to stir fry. So what I used to do a lot, even when I had boys, I knew I always had food. For lunch or something, you just literally do a quick stir fry. You can have frozen shrimp in it, and it just sautés really nicely. So it's already cooked, and then when you saute it, it fluffs up and it's done. And turn it down a tiny bit and add a little bit more, because I'm being a little aggressive here with the heat. And what I did today, all right, now I'm making a mess, is I bought some fresh basil. So I'm going to put a little bit in there, because I feel like that's going to taste really good with curry. And I'm going to open up the top. Still not liking me today. I'm going to open up the chickpeas. Just use a few. I feel like it would be a fun little texture to put in there that's still soft for me. Let's see if it can. And then here's the garlic naan. So I have actually made naan. Over here. Over here. This day is cracking me up today. All right, stop moving. He really just wants to do a 360 without me. All right. It's literally doing a 360. So now you've got to see my house. The whole yard. All right, so I'm gonna just take out the little chickpeas. See if it follows me. Come on. So hot. So I'm just draining them out a little bit and throwing a few in. And turn my rice way down and off actually, and that'll look perfect. It's all done. I'll probably end up putting salt on it for ourselves, but again, I'd rather not over salt it. It looks so good. And this is looking amazing too. Look. So here is that. So you can see there's a few chickpeas in there. And that. So what I'm going to do is grab a bowl. Let's see if I can get everything out of here. Hey, follow me. One of my favorite things to do is I love to plate food. And if you have boys, I highly recommend it that you plate their dinner. So I love bowls, like flat bowls like this. It is one of my favorite, I don't know, dishes to eat out of. Something about it, just, it's very simple. I'm going to check and see if the green beans are cooked. Okay. Perfect. Wow. And the carrots, because who wants to eat hard, crunchy carrots? Perfect. See, so somehow it's like, it is all about timing, and a lot of that has to do with how long you've been cooking to time it right, but it's like onions and carrots always need the longest. And so here we go. Just gonna plate a little bit of this. About half of it. Which is fun, like half and half. All right, I'm gonna grab a spoon. All right, so over here, over here. Okay. And I think we're gonna have plenty for leftovers, but that's okay. Leftovers are happy. And I love eating leftovers for lunch. I don't know about you all, but I do. So there definitely is a lot. And I'm gonna grab some basil. Because I feel like, I know it's not Thai basil, but basil is yummy. I know I have a knife here somewhere. Come on. So a little basil, and then you roll it up in a little cigar. Right? So now it's like this little thing, and then you just put your knife down. Put a little bit on there. We got ourselves some yummy dinner. And now I'm wondering where Chuck and Jax are. Because they're going to miss dinner if they don't hurry up and get back here. So here's our easy curry with chicken meatballs. Enjoy, guys. Drop the questions if you have any. Take care. Bye.